The city block had a rhythm, one that most people ignored. The hum of the streetlights, the murmur of traffic fading into the background, and the occasional flicker of neon signs that seemed to know when you were looking. In a corner grocery store, at the far end of the block, a girl named Lily was working the night shift. It was her first week on the job, and already she had learned the rules of the street. Stay quiet, stay unnoticed. It wasn't a place for curiosity. Just make it through the shift and go home. But tonight, something was different. Before we go any further, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us bring you even more powerful stories. Now let's begin. The clock on the wall ticked past 11:45 p.m., the store barely illuminated by the flickering sign outside. The street was quiet, like it always was this late. Lily wiped the counter slowly, trying to steady her nerves. She'd been in worse situations before, moving around from foster home to foster home, getting by on nothing but scraps of survival instinct. But here, in this store, in this neighborhood, there was a different kind of danger. She'd learned quickly that the block had its own kind of order. It wasn't the kind of place where rules were written down. No, here, they were ingrained in the air, in the eyes of those who lingered, watching, never speaking. The men who leaned against the walls didn't say a word, but their eyes told you everything, who belonged and who didn't. And Lily, a quiet girl with messy hair and a hand-me-down jacket, didn't belong. The bell above the door jingled, pulling Lily out of her thoughts. 3 young men swaggered in, too loud, too confident. She didn't recognize them, but they had that look like they owned the place. "Hey, where's the milk?" one of them asked, as if he had any intention of actually buying anything. He leaned on the counter, his fingers tapping in an irritating rhythm. Lily knew what was coming. She'd seen it before. The bullying, the jokes, the pushy behavior that always came just before closing. She smiled weakly and pointed toward the dairy section, trying to keep the tension in her voice at bay. "We're closing soon." They ignored her. The second guy reached over the counter, knocking a stack of cans to the floor with a careless swipe. "Oops," he said, grinning. "Looks like you've got a mess to clean up." He laughed, clearly enjoying her discomfort. The third one, the quiet one, stayed behind the counter, his eyes never leaving her face. His gaze felt heavy, predatory. He leaned in a little too close. Lily took a breath, forcing herself to remain calm. She had learned long ago that panic only made things worse. "Please leave the store," she said, her voice steady, but not without a hint of frustration. "Or what?" the loud one sneered. "What are you going to do about it?" Her heart raced. It was only a matter of time before they pushed further. But then something inside her shifted. She could feel it, the shift in the air. Before she could react, the door opened again. A tall figure stepped in, casting a long shadow across the floor. The 3 men froze. Lily's breath caught in her throat. She recognized him. It was Jason. Jason was different. He wasn't the kind of guy who shouted to get respect. He didn't need to. He had a way of looking at you that made you feel small. And Lily had learned from growing up on the streets that Jason ran this block. No one questioned him. The 3 boys didn't know who Jason was. They didn't know who Lily was either, but they were about to find out. Jason's eyes scanned the store, landing on the group of boys with a sharp, almost calculating gaze. He didn't say anything, just watched them for a moment. The bully who had knocked over the cans stepped forward, trying to regain his composure. "You got a problem, man?" he sneered. "We're just messing around." Jason didn't move. He didn't need to. He looked at Lily. Just a glance, and she knew exactly what he meant. "You're safe now." Without a word, Jason turned his attention back to the 3 men, who were now visibly shrinking under his gaze. One tried to make a joke, but it fell flat. The silence between them was suffocating, heavy with the weight of what was about to happen. One by one, the boys backed away, stammering apologies, tripping over their own feet as they scrambled for the door. But Jason didn't stop them. He didn't have to. As the door closed behind them, the tension in the store lifted. Jason didn't look at Lily again. He just walked toward the back, his presence still hanging in the air. For a moment, Lily stood frozen, her heart still pounding. The street outside remained eerily quiet, but she wasn't scared anymore. Not because Jason had come to her rescue. She didn't need rescuing. But because she realized something. Power wasn't about violence. It wasn't about raising your voice or making a scene. It was about control. It was about knowing that you didn't have to do anything to make people listen. And that was the rule of the block. People could laugh, they could try to push you down, but at the end of the day, you never knew who was watching. You never knew who might be standing in the shadows. Lily finished her shift in silence, her hands steady. When the sun came up the next morning, the block was quiet again, as it always was. But Lily knew now she wasn't alone. She never would be again.